Hello, my dear insightful parents. We have been having a discussion about unschooling, regular schooling, and different types of the way we can educate our children. And we have with us a friend of ours, Ritu Mathur. And interestingly, her child has been in different types of schools, and she is now in the 11th grade in a school called Rishi Valley. Some of you may have heard that. I had heard it sometime back from my wife. Uh, and she's a permaculturist. She's an entrepreneur. She had a business of organic snacks, and also, interestingly, she is teaching in an IB curriculum. So I think she has got experience of a mix of various different forms of education, and I think she'll be able to give us a lot of insights to this. So thank you, Ritu, for taking out your time for us. And do tell us a little more about yourself.
Yeah, hi Bimal, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Yes, so I have been a permaculture designer for almost last 9 to 10 years. I enjoy permaculture as well as natural farming, and I've been consulting in this space for this duration. I have been I started with aesthetic garden design initially in Gurgaon, and I have enabled and helped people with balconies, front yard, backyard garden designs. And then I got into more edible and ethical farming over the years, and I've been instrumental in that. It's only I think in the year 2009 is when I decided to get into having our own company, which was Greenies, where we were making organic, ready-to-eat snacks. And I, along with my husband, was running that company for 3 years plus. But then we closed it in the year 2018. At that time, it was picking up, but somehow both of us were moving in maybe different directions. And at that time, we took that decision. And yes, last year has been a year when I got the flavor of working in an IB school,
Okay.
and it's been a great journey there as well. And I have certain things to share from that journey too. But yes, that can happen over our discussion later. Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, your daughter Utsa, right? Her name is Utsa, right?
Yes.
So Utsa has gone from a regular schooling, I think, when she was very young, to a different unschooling kind of school, and then she has gone to Rishi Valley. So tell us about her journey and your thought process behind moving into each different type of schooling.
Sure. So I think as parents, I would say that both of us believe that the student or like our child should get a learning experience which is more experiential. So from the beginning, we wanted that. But when she was in nursery, at that time, she joined a conventional school, which is Amity International. And though she did very well there as well, but somehow as a nursery child, I was extremely upset when I actually got her to see that first day of the homework in the English notebook was, write A to Z. Even if it's just about, copying on those alphabets, I found it to be really a lot of work for a kid that age, and I never liked it. And even 1 to 20 with objects to be drawn as per the number, so so it was not at all something that I really liked. And both of us were very keen to apply for a school which is more alternative in nature. I think these schools should be called the mainstream and the other should become alternative, but that's how they're named. So I'm calling it an alternative school, which is with the name Shikshantar. And Shikshantar is run on the principles of Aurobindo and Mother. So they have another school in Delhi which is called Virambika, and so this school and Virambika run on the similar principles. Uh, Again, when she went there, I think I kind of felt at home to some extent, because They don't have any uniform. They believe in play, external play, and along with that, ensuring that the students are studying in an experiential way. So that journey was beautiful for her, except for in her grade 5, because the school couldn't retain teachers. So that
Okay.
became a bit of a problem for her, that she as a child was upset that why in my class with just one kid who is not very peaceful and is not allowing the class to settle, why the class is unsettled for almost half of the lesson, and half of the lesson is when we are actually doing the study which we have come there for. So she was like, Mama, I'm not enjoying this. So that's
Hmm.
something which was happening, but we never thought of anything that as a change for her at that time. And since I was doing permaculture and garden design, and I conducted a workshop, and somebody visited, somebody who came to attend that workshop suggested me Rishi Valley School. And with that conviction that your daughter should surely be there. So I said, okay, if you're so convinced, then maybe at least let me go back and read about the school and know more and equip myself to take that decision. So yes, I went back and read about the school, and I felt, oh wow, it's really a good school. Let me look at how I can actually take this further. And I got to know about it in the month of Feb, and I was surprised that even in the month of Feb, I sent the form to them when their admissions actually close in the month of December. Yet, when our form reached them, they actually took I would say it's really courteous on their part that they wrote back to us saying that, the admissions have closed in this year. You can apply next year, or preferably in the grade 6 for your daughter. And we are sorry, but this year we cannot offer you or entertain your form as well.
Right.
And just this gesture was so nice that they have done this all the way when it has gone to them, and they've sent it back to us with their response. So that happened, and I think after that we just felt, okay, fine, we have a wait year with us. And in grade 6, when she came, like before that, in grade 5, in the month of November, we applied. We went there a day in advance, and we were very clear, because my daughter was like, Mom, I'm in a school which is alternative, I have good friends, why are we doing this? We are
Right.
all going there just to check. Let's just go there and see how it is going to be. So we went there, and we uh, took a round of the school a day before her interview, and all the test was planned for. So we reached there a day before, and we took a round of the school, and they have this lovely banyan tree under which there are some open benches. So that's where we settled towards the end of our round, and we asked her, Utsa, what do you feel now? She says,
Hmm.
I will do anything to be part of the school. So we said, okay, maybe then your chances tomorrow, try your level best and see how and what we can do. So that's how the journey began, and she gave that exam, and then yes, she got through. And yeah, they have a test for English and maths, and they also talk to the students, but I think it's very simple. And then they talk to both the parent and the child together. So that's been their process. So she's been there from grade 6 onwards. Yes.
Fantastic. That's great. So, what is the difference between Shikshantar and Rishi Valley? I'm not talking with respect to schools per se,
Yeah.
but one is kind of unschooling, and Rishi Valley is not pure unschooling. So, what's the difference that you see in both?
Okay. So for me, I think there were a few reasons that helped me take this decision. One, I felt that even if Shikshantar was an alternative school, I wasn't convinced that city is a great place for my child to really spend the childhood.
Right.
And you may find it a bit odd, but I feel that today the child loses their childhood with the peer and the influence of internet and everything that
True.
we have around us. So I was not very happy seeing that a grade 5 student is now getting worried about many things which I don't think they should really be talking or thinking about. So somewhere I was, one of the reason was this. And then second, some, I think the trigger maybe was the class disruption also, which was happening for her. But but I would say the main reason was this, that when I got an option and I got to know that it's a Jiddu Krishnamurti school, it's a valley school, from a polluted environment to a clean air environment that she will be getting there, I almost thought that in my mind I'm ready to see this transition.
Okay. So that's about the environment.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
with respect to the method of study, what is the difference that you have seen?
So yes, I think like I surely saw Shikshantar where they never were actually doing subjects. They do follow ICSE curriculum though, but again,
I didn't know that they followed a curriculum.
yeah. So ICSE curriculum they were also following, and but if you would see them, they would also not really do it in a order that this is science, this is math, this is social studies, but they would do project based learning, which was nice. When it came to Rishi Valley, I think I didn't. I would maybe I would accept this that I wasn't really, even I didn't do a detailed due diligence about the school, because whosoever I asked was so positive, and they said if your daughter makes it, why should you think twice about it? It's been the number one school for such a long time, and it's been a great school. Every student I've seen going to that school have done well. So I said, okay, maybe when there's so much conviction, let me read. And I read about it, and I also was very happy. And I frankly, I'm accepting that at that time, I had not much of an idea about how this school is going to be different from Shikshantar at that time.
Mhm.
And now I will say that as she joined grade 6, so the problem that my daughter faces, because she's been a bright child throughout, and in Shikshantar, she was always told, okay, give others a chance to speak. So when she joined the new school, she in the first year she said, okay, I should give others the chance to speak. So she stayed more passive. And then her teacher, when we went for the term visit mid-year, the teacher says, I think she's very bright, but she doesn't speak up. What's it? Why? What's the reason? And I was surprised that how come my daughter is doing this? Especially the class teacher told me this. And I said, okay, I'll ask her. I don't think she's the kind of child who would stay quiet. And when I asked her, she says, I never wanted this to start here as well, that I've been told you don't answer, let the others answer. So I said, let me stay quiet. So yeah, so that's how it began. And then I saw that in her grade 6 towards the second term, as well as her grade 7, I saw there is something in her which is making her strive for excellence in everything. And I was a bit worried. What is it that this has not been her characteristic? She enjoyed doing everything, but she was not really somebody who would strive for excellence. And I was a bit upset, like, because I think
That I've
I don't know about if you know about the school, but it is a school which doesn't allow too much of communication between parent and the kid and the student. So in that case, what happens is that we would write letters. And I would say that these letters have been beautiful. So, but yes, her letter would come and she would tell me about what is going on. Then I will write to her. So, in that communication, I realized that she's really striving for excellence, and I was a bit upset. And I thought, when I'm going to go, I'll ask her. She said, "Mom, I have 24 hours to myself now in this school, and I have so much time at hand. So why not do the best?" I said, okay, if that's how you see it, then I have no problem. You please carry on and continue to be this way. So that's how it was. And I was very, I was happy to know that. But before I got to know about this, what is her reason, I was a bit upset. I said, what is this? Why she wants to be the best in everything? Yeah. So as if you ask me about their way of teaching, so I would say that for their science-based subject, they would move out, observe, study, and their labs are very well equipped. But even along with these subjects, they would have certain things like culture. They do, and I really respect their art and craft department and other co-curricular activities, even woodcraft, batik, such things, which really engage the child into very positive activities through the day, and they ensure that the child is doing something positive through Saturday is a half day at their school, and they do quite a bit of fun. Lots of yeah.
I lost you because it's
Oh,
raining heavy here. So
oh,
I had an interruption. So if you could tell me the last point once again about science, you were talking about.
yes. So I was telling you about the science. Like if they are studying bio, they would step out, study different plants and trees around, and collect different samples, check with the teacher, share their opinion and observations. So that's how they have been doing. And I was telling that the physics and the chemistry, certain things were done in the labs and certain things were done outside. Quite a lot of classes like language class, culture class, which they felt that it needed a more open environment. They would step out, be under a tree and do those classes. And so those things were really nice, along with they have a very well established woodcraft, art and craft, as well as batik division, which really I think engages student in uh, very productive, positive ways during not just the week, but over the weekend as well. So my daughter engaged in all these things and she enjoyed herself thoroughly. Yes.
Lovely. So what is your take on unschooling? And one more thing is, does Rishi Valley follow a particular curriculum?
Okay, so yes, even Rishi Valley follows ICSE,
Okay.
and I would say that Rishi Valley does accept this now, that Shikshantar students adjust and accept Rishi Valley very beautifully. So I think it's a very beautiful transition as for them. And along with like ICSE, you asked me about unschooling bit.
Yes.
So, so I think I as a parent was never convinced about unschooling. Uh,
Okay.
yes. So the reason I have for that is, one, I don't think I want to work so hard for my daughters, like for my child's education. I feel if I am unschooling, there's a lot of responsibility that comes on me.
Absolutely.
And I don't want the child to be, either my or my husband's replica or a copy. And to not being able to do that, we really needed to create a circle of friends where you have more unschooling students interacting with each other, or you have to have a social gathering where the kids are getting some interaction with each other, and all of it I find that it is too much to ask for, and I somehow was not ready, and I somehow found this to be not so adequate and enough, and I could never decide for unschooling completely. So if you give me a choice, I would love to experiment maybe at the later years. And we did try that with Utsa, but Utsa refused. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So you said the school did not allow communication with the
yeah.
parent, and she went at a very young age. Now, would that does it affect the closeness, the fondness, the bond that you have with Utsa?
Actually, I think it's the other way around. You know, it's just maybe 3 phone calls or 4 phone calls in a term,
The term.
and in a
Not even-
term, yeah. No, not even in a month.
Okay.
And I think most of the conversation with her started happening through letters. And when you are writing a letter, you move from the mundane routine to
Yes.
actually writing something which is more meaningful.
True.
And I think it really created a bond between us only then. I felt that our interaction really improved quite a lot when she became a Rishi Valley student, and the distance plus these writing letters and snail mails was something which was introduced back into our life, except for bank letters. Now there's a letter coming from the daughter, and the day it will reach us, the God will know that my daughter's letter is going to come, so it should reach me soon. And that excitement around it, responding back, her getting her response back, it was amazing. I think that journey through letters was beautiful.
Uh,
So I don't think I missed the fact that she's not calling me, or and she's surely away from me. So being a mother the first time, obviously, like I have to share this, that my daughter, when she joined even her play school, she entered the school and never turned back even to say a bye. So she has been that kind of kid, and I thought, now I've sent her to hostel, I don't know whether she'll be even missing home or us or anything like that, or will she just adjust and I'll be crying here at home. And I had all these dilemmas and doubts, and we still were roaming around in the south to ensure that if she calls, we will do a visit, day
uh,
visit. so,
yes.
yes, but luckily she did call. And she was crying, and she said, Mama, I'm missing home. I said, oh, I'm so happy to hear you cry. And she was like, my mom is crazy. I said, yeah, I am, Utsa. I'm so happy to hear that you're missing us as well as the home. So I think this kind of reaction made her feel that Ma is crazy and she's so funny. So I think, yeah, it's okay. So we told her that, we are nearby and we're going to visit you this coming Saturday, Sunday. Actually, we just get a day. So this Sunday we will be with you, and she was happy. But by the time we reached there, she had already overcome that homesickness, and she was fine. So, but yes, the first few times, every time I'm moving out, I had to shed a few tears. She was fine. I think the first time maybe she got a bit nervous, but after that, no crying, nothing. You are the one who's going out. I'm enjoying my place here.
Yeah, I think children accept pretty well when they're whichever situation they're in, if they have good people around them, and I think that is so. So, what are your aspirations for her? As in, she's following an ICSE curriculum. So, what happens after 12th? What does she want? Does she have clarity about what she wants, and how is it?
So, yeah, I think, see, as a child, she's a great performer. She topped in her 10th as well right now. But
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. But see, she has not yet decided. I'll be frank with you, and I don't think I'm pushing her at the
Yeah.
same time. Uh, I think these 2 years are the years where maybe by the end of 11th she will have better clarity. She's going ahead with piece like physics, chemistry, maths, and bio. Though Utsa has been really great when it comes to writing. She writes poems and she has her own blog, and she enjoys writing quite a lot. So the only thing which she is not very happy about is leaving literature in grade 11, but
Hmm.
she convinced herself to be doing theater in the grade 11 to somewhere balance it out.
Lovely.
uh, and I think when it comes to what she will do after 12th, I think whatever it is going to be, she will be fine.
Yeah.
Why I'm able to say that is that I think as a school, what they teach them or what they actually have given her is the knowledge or the strength to know her own capability. And I
Hmm.
think she is confident about being into, thrown into anything, and she feels that I will figure it out and I'll be fine. If I have to do it, I'll do it. Like she also says, exams is a game and I have to crack this. I enjoy reading and studying because I enjoy gathering more knowledge. But
Lovely.
if this is something I have to do, I'll be doing it with that zeal. So yeah, so that's how it has been, and I don't think she will have any problem. Though I
Yeah,
know that she is not a child who will choose becoming a doctor or an engineer. I have my doubts about it. But let's see, wherever, whatever she will do, I'm hoping that she'll be fine. Yes.
I think the biggest gift that we can give as parents or as a school is ability to trust themselves and ability to know that okay, I can apply myself, and whatever I choose, I will do well and I'll be excellent at it. And I think that's beautiful. The way you are saying that I'm not worried about my daughter because whatever she takes up, she will do extremely well, and that speaks a lot about whatever curriculum that she followed there. Okay.
True. So I also feel that, like for literature, she was a bit upset, and I told her, Utsa, if you have to really go back to literature, you will have either the chance to pick up literature when you are doing your graduation or whatever studies that you're doing, or maybe at the later stage when you're doing your masters. At that time, it will be even much more focused and interesting literature that you will be reading. So let's see where and what's her journey. I don't know, maybe she would write a book. Maybe it's all the science that she's doing will stay with her. I can't say, and I'll be happy, whatever she'll be doing. Yes.
Okay, last question. So, what would be your advice to parents who are looking at alternate ways of schooling? I'm not talking specifically about Rishi Valley or any particular institution. Because I was told about Rishi Valley, like my wife, she knows a lot of people from Rishi Valley, and she says they all turned out excellent. So I am somebody I cannot stay away, okay, from my daughter, and I felt that I won't be able to do it. And then we checked with our daughter; she was also said, "No, I will not go and stay alone." And now she's just gone into sixth grade.
Okay.
So I want your what is your piece of advice or word for, because you have to be mentally prepared.
Yes.
You got to be prepared to let go of a lot of things. You got to be willing to let go of control, let go of being needed, let go of a lot of other things. So that's also a mindset that you need to develop. So what is your advice for parents?
Okay. So, yes, I think you're right in saying it's not an easy decision for sure. Especially when, today in these days, each one of us have either one kid or two maximum, and the way we are raising our kids, we are actually with them, giving
Yeah.
them qualitative time most often. uh, it's not really the quantity of time, but it's the quality of time that we spend with them which is more important. And somewhere, yes, allowing her to go was not easy, and I would be lying to you if I'll say that it was a very easy transition for me when she left.
Sure.
It did create a big void for me, especially when I got back after dropping her. And I felt that my day was quite incomplete without her presence. So,
Yeah.
because there was so much that we were doing together which is now missing, and also a realization that I have more time at hand with me. So so yes, I would say that as a mother, and I think I can talk about even my partner, for that reason, that both of us never were the conventional parent. When I say it, I think somewhere we always raised her as another person at home. So
Mm.
she always got that respect that she's another individual, and her thought process, her whatever she speaks is valued, and we question, we argue, or we we'll have a consensus or we'll have a talk and we will see how and where, why we decide. So that kind of reasoning was allowed and she was always given that chance. So I don't think there was this feeling of letting go of control or anything like that with me.
Okay.
But surely not having her around and not having to spend that time with her was difficult. So that void took some time for me to fill, and I had to find some really engaging activities at that time to allow me to really, come back to enjoy not having her around. And I
Great.
would say,
So,
yeah, yeah, and I would say that because the school's way of communication has been such that they don't allow you to have more calls, but allow the child to write a letter, and as parents we also write letters to them. So I guess that became a very interesting medium for us to communicate. And I would be doing some painting and she would be sending me some poems of hers, and that's how we started to communicate with each other. And my husband would write another letter, which would be, he generally never still wrote because his writing was so bad that he said, my daughter will never be able to understand, so I have to type. So it was
okay.
mostly a typed letter from him. But yes, he would, like, we both will write at least 4 pages to 7 pages, and then a bundle of letter will go to her, and then something
Lovely.
similar would come back from her. So it was interesting. Sometimes, yes, we did felt that there was a gap in communication because the letters, snail mails also used to take sometimes around 7 to 8 days, and sometimes even longer.
Mm.
And so she has written something, by the time it reaches us and I respond to that and it reaches her, so it is lost. It's like a 15-20 days gap in between. So she says, what is mama talking about now? I have no clue. So I think, yes, it did happen sometimes like that, but most often we enjoyed our communication, and I think it really allowed me to bond very beautifully with her. So I would say that from a more routine, mundane communication, it became very meaningful conversations, and I felt that I really had established a bond which was so beautiful that I cherished it more and more, and I can say that from her side as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ritu, for sharing. Because uh, I mean, you've been through the journey right now, especially because of the lockdown and everybody going online. People have really started exploring various other options. Till now, we are going like those horses with the blinders. हमने ऐसे किया है वैसे ही जाने का है. Now because of the people have suddenly started questioning the effectiveness of a lot of curriculum. So that's why you came in with an experience of. And one more question I want to ask you. Okay, uh, now how do you're teaching an IB curriculum and your child is in Rishi Valley. So what's the difference that you're seeing with respect to what you're doing and what your child is doing?
Okay. I hope you will not quote me here. this this information shouldn't reach my school. No, no, no. But yes, if you have to ask me, the major difference I see in a school like Rishi Valley, where the emphasis is on, um I think, creating sensitive being is one of the major emphasis that they bring to any child who's there. uh, they segregate their waste. They are so sensitive even about, like, if they allow the students to have bi-weekly tuck,
Hmm.
they they will make them aware that, can you look at an alternative where you don't have to go at picking up biscuit or a cookie for yourself which is packed in three different kinds of plastic. Instead, if we are providing you a choice of some local bakery baked cookies, or we are giving you the choice of fruits, would you prefer to take those because it doesn't have that packaging which is going to add to the landfill? So those kind of choices and sensitivity, I feel is important to come to any child these days. And one major thing I would say that in terms of a difference between an IB curriculum and what I've seen at Rishi Valley is being minimalistic is something which is encouraged while she's at Rishi Valley.
Okay.
And obviously, they are not at all happy with the usage of technology
Mm.
to a great extent at Rishi Valley. But if you ask me, in an IB education, there's a lot of emphasis which is given to IT based education. Along with that, also, it is experiential, it is based on the questioning from the students, and but it's still about abundance in the system. You know, the students get to see so many different ways, so many different tools with which they study, and they get to experience a lot of. So I will say that yes, it is still an education system which is for elite to the higher middle class. I would not say that it has the potential. It does hold the potential to reach the masses, but I think it is still not ever explode in that phase.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that's where I see one major disconnect. And things like my daughter, when she comes to the city, what she misses is the crumbling of leaves under her foot.
Lovely.
So that kind of a feeling I don't think our schools these days can create.
Yeah.
Most of her letters she used to climb onto a banyan tree and be on the branches and write letters from there, and that open sky, and that kind of uh, I think environment is impossible for a school to provide in current scenario, especially. So these are the things I feel that we need to look and choose for our child more than really, the other substance related things. Yeah. That's why I said, please don't quote me here.
My
Yeah.
child also go to an IB school, and I like the way they teach compared to a regular school.
Yeah.
Okay, I find it much better. She doesn't come back with homework and stuff like that. A lot of inquisitiveness, inquiry, lines of inquiry and stuff, which I like because I come from the traditional schooling way. I find it interesting. So yes, but what you shared about the what your daughter misses, I think that is the essence of what she has become.
Yes.
In that, and that I think is priceless.
Yeah, I also feel these are the things which are more important. And
Yeah.
like for me, when I am there, I maybe it's also my love for nature. I also almost feel that I'm at a natural resort. It's such a pleasant experience to be there. Though I would be joining them on their trekking and doing all that. And like once I was bitten by 8 wasps on one of my knee, and it was like a red apple. But all that I think is a part. I enjoy that experience, and I'm sure she cherishes it too. Yeah, it's been very difficult for her. It's been more than 100 days, and she's home. And you can imagine for a child who's used to that kind of environment where they walk minimum 4 kilometers between the class, the dining hall, and their hostel, then surely it's not at all easy. Yeah.
But oh, thank you, Ritu. Thank you so much for sparing your time and giving us insights about different forms of schooling. The whole idea is for parents to understand, at least get a perspective of what is which and how it happens from people who have actually been there. So I think it's really, really valuable and precious. So thank you so much from our side and also from all the parents in our group.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure for me too. I think this is something which is so close to my heart that I didn't feel that I did anything extra. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.